What if I told you that you're playing the same game over and over again? Do the many ghost investigation games feel like they're starting to blend together? Ever wonder why? We're diving into the world of horror games, specifically focusing on the rise and fall of Phasmophobia, its clones, and why the formula just doesn't work anymore. So if you love horror games but feel like something's missing lately, sit tight, because you're not alone. First up, let's start where it all began, Phasmophobia. When it launched, it took the gaming community by storm. The blend of horror and investigation was fresh, thrilling, and genuinely scary. But as time went on, the hype started to die down. Why? Well, it boils down to two main factors: desensitization and shallow gameplay. Phasmophobia and its many clones like Diminished and Ghostwatchers are essentially two halves of a game. One half is horror, where you encounter terrifying ghosts in eerie environments. The other half is investigation, where you gather evidence and identify the ghost. Initially, these two elements combine beautifully, providing a unique and immersive experience. Here's the thing: horror games rely heavily on the element of surprise and fear. The more you play, the more you get desensitized by the scares. It's like watching the same scary movie over and over again. Your body starts anticipating the jump scares. But why is that? With repeated exposure to a horror movie, or in this case a video game, you become accustomed to the stimuli. This reduces the release of adrenaline and diminishes the fight or flight response. Essentially, the more you play, the better your brain gets at handling the fear, making it less intense over time. So once the horror isn't as effective, you're left with just the investigation gameplay. Unfortunately, in Phasmophobia and its many clones, the investigation mechanics are not that complicated. When new horror investigation type games are released, they might offer a fresh scare initially, but once that initial fear wears off, you're stuck with the same basic investigation gameplay. There's no depth to keep you engaged. These games use horror as a crutch to hide the fact that their games lack substance. Strip the horror elements away and you're left playing a simple detective game. Imagine walking around a fully lit house, waiting for the game to generate activity, checking a few boxes, and then walking out. How fun would that be? So what happens? Well, players lose interest faster because there's no solid gameplay foundation to fall back on. The horror dissipates, and without strong investigation mechanics, you're left with half a game. Unfortunately, that half just isn't strong enough to capture the player's interest. This leads to shorter gameplay and the inevitable shelving of the game. So you might ask, what's the solution? Developers need to innovate beyond just the horror elements. They should focus on making the investigation part more intricate, adding layers of complexity and variety. This way, even when the horror eventually fades away, players still have a rich, engaging game to enjoy. In the end, Phasmophobia and similar games have a lot of potential, but they need to evolve. The horror might draw players in, but it's the gameplay that keeps them coming back. Let's just hope we can see some innovation in this genre soon. So, which one of these games are your favorite? Do you still enjoy playing them? What do you think can be improved? Let me know your thoughts on Phasmophobia and the other similar horror games in the comments below. Thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll see you next time.